Thank you to all the speakers who have had these amazing sessions. The last session, I want to thank the children and the performers. Next is, of course, Ujjal Dey, a visual artist who works in natural dyes and textiles. He will be presenting a little bit of his research and his artistic practice. The presentation will be for around 15 to 20 minutes, followed by, and this is very interesting because I'm also looking forward to this, Ujjwal has bought these bamboo kalamkari pen and ink and some fabric, and we will invite those who want to participate to come and draw on this. So this also resonates with the ongoing exhibition of Ajit Kumar Das, which I hope most of you have seen, the paintings that you see all around you here in this exhibition, which is called The Bird That Sings Within. These are all kalamkari works that have been hand painted using natural dyes, inks that Ajit Das makes on his own. And he will also be here later in the evening for a walkthrough. So please stick around. Thank you.
Can we start with the presentation? Yeah. So I did my bachelor's and master's from Kolabhavan Vishwabharati, specialized in textile. And primarily I'm working, since 10 years I've been working with natural dyes as a medium of my practice. I'm working with them on textiles. So my presentation, drawing from nature, tradition and memory, talks about my present artistic practice and how my artistic practice has evolved within the framework of using drawing from different perspectives. So drawing for me in its physical form is an image comprising of lines and forms made through either different colors or pigments. So the left image which you see is an image where I'm using the traditional kalamkari ink, and both the images at right is probably the image from Srikalahasti, where the traditional kalamkari painters use this bamboo pen to draw and fill the colors. And from drawing, I also mean that to borrow or to understand or to take something from adopting from some source. So primarily the three main sources for my work is nature, tradition and memory. So nature, where I procure my materials, all the natural dye stuffs from the natural sources like the tree bark, leaves or the seeds or the roots, and the traditional knowledge system which exists within the human community to sustain with the environment. The traditions, I talk about adopting the traditions from the hand-painted and printed textiles which existed in the pre-industrial age in India, that existed long ago. I take methodologies from them, adopt different techniques and use them in my work. And memory for me is sort of going to the childhood memory and also reconnecting to some of the past and present memories of my areas where I see different objects and landscapes and position them in different situations and context. And other ritualistic practices of mark making like the floor and wall coverings like the lapa and the alpona, which is traditionally given by the women of the rural or the urban scale. So my main work starts from collecting the materials from either forage from the local landscape or from the shops nearby. So I use a number of dye stuffs which are myrobalan, bohera, turmeric, madder, onion skin, marigold flowers, etc. And also making my own tools through the local materials such as wood or a bamboo. The traditional kalam which is used in kalamkari is made up of sharpened bamboo and a cotton bulb tied to it with a small piece of cloth. And sometimes I try to sort of transform different household objects or objects of mostly the kitchen to transform it to my printing tool or painting tool. So So the image on the extreme right is of the wooden molds of the thekua, the sweetmeat molds. I've transferred into a wood block print, and I adopt the mostly three different techniques for making my work. From clockwise from left is the drawing technique with the kalam, and is a very right side. I have the technique I'm using is the process of smearing the floor with cow dung and mud. So I use that particular technique, but with the natural dyes. I have seen it working where my grandmothers used to work and swab the floors of our earlier mud house with those kind of gestural marks. And I am also seeing them in Shantiniketan and at the local vicinity. And the third is using the brush, the hand painting technique. So I'll start with the work called Offering to Surya. It's an ongoing work, and this was a part of my solo show at Imami Art Gallery. So Offering to Surya is a series where I sort of where I already talked about transforming the wood blocks, the thekua wooden blocks, into the block printing tool. So I take that as a tool to develop this work, and those marks signify the change of and the moments of time and the repetitive actions and gestures of the household. The repetition occurs where it is the iteration of the daily mundane. And it's inspired from the Chhath Puja, a festival held in Bihar and Jharkhand during the October months. So it is the only festival where where Hindu people don't actually worship idol. It's worshipping the natural source of energy. The sun god is worshipped. The 2 days festival is held, and the long before that the preparations are made, and sun god is worshipped with a kind of sweet which is called thekua. It's made up of wheat flour and some dry fruits, and it's very traditionally made by hand by pressing on those wooden molds and then fried it in oil. So it talks about all the sense of going back to the nature and preparing those. And it also, the cooking oven is also made specially for the puja and not used, the household one is not used. It's newly made with the mud and with some bricks and all those kind of things. So here how in my work where a lot of water and sunlight is needed, I also connect these with the ritualistic processes of the different rituals. So the images on the right is the washing of the cloth in the nearby river and then placing it in the sunlight to get the exact color and bleed off the extra color. So this is the display view at the ground floor, the works. In the middle, the work titled Mother and Child is there. I will talk in the next slide about that. So basically the kalamkari textiles or the painted textiles had these the depictions and the stories of gods and goddesses, and previously it was used as temple hangings or the decoration for the temple chariots in South India. So now I'm seeing them as non-figurative works because I'm directly transforming the tools into the different tools into my tools of work, and then adding another narrations by making different marks and different colors associated with the ritualistic process of the whole festival. Mother and Child is a series where I got inspiration from a festival called Sil Shosti. It happens after the Saraswati Puja in Bengal and Bihar. So what they do is during the onset of Basanta, the spring, a lot of diseases come along with the change of the seasons. So the family members they what they do is they keep the turmeric and a new towel for the next day to use it. And as per the belief, the Shoshti god has no iconographic depiction. So at many places, sometimes a stone is considered as Shoshti, and in villages, these kind of pentagonal stone slab grinders were considered as Shoshti. And Shoshti symbolizing the number 6, I made these panels of 6. While idea came, and also the pentagonal slab is considered as the mother, and the noda, through which the spices are grinded, is considered as the child. So it's very sort of decorating it similarly, like the child is resting on the mother's lap. So I got the idea of working with this theme, and all the dyes which are used in this particular work have the medicinal qualities like the neem, turmeric, the onion skin. Onion is very good for during summers. So which have these healing and medicinal qualities. I have used them in my work, because the works also talks about the caring and the care and the taking well-being of the family members. So this is a detail of the work. The black marks which you see on both the works are taken from the, I will talk about the marks. It comes very naturally in my work as repetitions, as from different sources. Since childhood I have seen, we all have seen our mothers giving a kajal tika on our forehead to ward off the devil. So from that, these marks eventually come, and accordingly, when the forms are first introduced into my works, the basic forms with the black, then I start to play with the other forms and putting other layers of either resist or mordant, and then dye it in different manner. This is the series called Dawn to Dusk. This is the material memory, which talks about the kitchen space being used, how it was previously used as a sitting space, and then it gradually changed to a standing position. I think I'll speed up with my presentation. So I'll ask Abhijit to arrange the table for the workshop at the end of the presentation. So another inspiration for me is the medoli. Medoli is a regional term in Bengali, where the round form which they give near the doorstep is called medoli. It's usually given as an auspicious thing and to remove the insects and all. And it keeps the floor waterproof. It mixed with mud and cow dung, and it's given on the floor. So I'd seen it in my childhood, and after coming to Shantiniketan, I also got to see these kind of practices going on in around the villages of Shantiniketan. So I developed these two works, which are titled Medoli 1 and 2. These were the part of the British Textile Biennale 2023. Dag, where past meets present, is a work that derived out of the childhood memories, where I, along with my brother and some of my friends and all, we used to wet a stick and then give different marks on the wall. And my grandmother used to tell it's inauspicious because of its, I don't know what was the reason, maybe, but gradually we had seen them also making marks on the floor with cow dung and with mud paste and making alpunas. So in that context, I sort of made these drawings before on paper and then translated into textile. These represents the different the circles for me is the representing the different planets, sun and moon, and in different a point of concentration, a point of origin, and this end, like that. And here I am talking about the existing landscape which is getting lost or getting transformed in the current scenario. This was also the part of British Textile Biennale. And Trade Route is a series of ongoing work where my research findings in my PhD helped me to develop a series of works, and those were taken as a point of reference to start these works. So trade route deliberately changed to trade ROOT route, where I break the two words, the trade, the exchange of textile from India to the other world in exchange of spices, and the route here refers to the deeply rooted craft traditions of India. This is the map of the maritime trade routes between the India and the Arab world. And where the two points of references from a book by Leonard Edwards and Lothika Varadarajan, which mentions about the Ajrak block print and the Fustat fragments. Lothika Varadarajan mentions that the deepest black was taken out from the used horseshoe while fermenting it with jaggery. So that's the traditional technique of making the kalamkari ink. It's mixed with jaggery and then it's fermented for around 20 days to get the black. So the special paints are taken to use only the hooves of the horses. These are purchased locally. It is claimed that these provide the best depth in color. So that became a repetitive element in my work. And another set of works were my visit to the Ashmolean Museum, where the Fustat fragments, I discovered the Fustat fragments that Leonard Edwards is talking about. These Fustat fragments are the antecedents of the Ajrak block prints. So here I am taking the outline of those fragments and using them as motifs or elements of repetition and the journey of that Indian textile trade, and transferring them onto paper. Like we either found an object or specimen and draw it like archaeological drawing or some found drawings. So these was the series done on paper on indigo, myrobalan and madder, which involved the process similar to Ajrak dyeing technique. So I end my presentation here. Thank you. And I would request people who are interested to join the workshop, the drawing making workshop, can please come and
Hello. The workshop is open to anyone who's interested. So if you are.
Excuse me, can you hear?